Hey everyone, post-editing, almost post-publishing, Sam here. I'm just popping on at the start of this episode to remind you that as of today, all the Deus Ex Media podcasts are no longer on Twitter. If you followed us on Twitter, thanks for the ride. We're not deleting our accounts. You can still follow us there. Maybe there might be something if Twitter decides to change their policies to protect our communities better. But from now on in, we'll be doing most of our posting through Instagram and Facebook, as well as other platforms that might work specifically better for other podcasts. I know like Of the Eldest Gods is on Tumblr and things like that. So definitely go check us out on other platforms. If you want to connect or keep updated with the pod and you don't have social media other than Twitter, please just shoot an email to us. The email is in our link tree, which is linked in the description, and we will give you some way of connecting with us and for us to give you a bit of an update on what's going on.
A podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Deus Ex Media.
Content and Capable acknowledges the Indigenous people on the land on which we record this podcast, the Turungurung people. We offer our respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Sovereignty was never ceded. Welcome to Content and Capable, where our big power move this of the week is editing while on public transport. My name's Sam. I'm your host as always. I perpetually exist in this void that is a podcast. And joining me today from their own void is Darien Smart. Hi, Darien. How are you?
Hi, Sam. I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
Oh, look. I've always got to check up and make sure that we're okay because I feel like we always run the gauntlet right close to the edge of chaos as podcasters.
Yep, that is incredibly relatable. Oh no, I forgot to do something. I'm going to be late. Yeah, it's like, what do you mean I didn't schedule the episode? Oh no, it goes up tomorrow, and just fly out of bed at 11 o'clock at night.
I do have to admit there was a period of time at the end of last year where my episodes weren't coming out on a Monday. They were coming out on like a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, sometimes Wednesday morning. There were concerned looks, and I was like, I'm okay. Leave me.
I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yep. I had a big mental health crisis last year. I'm good now. But the one thing that I was determined to help mask my chaos was just podcast. Muses episodes come out on time. They all came out on time as scheduled. Everything else in my life,
what a power
those,
move.
I refuse to let the crisis interrupt my podcast.
Yeah. No, I had uni, which was a little bit more financially and mentally a bit more important to me at that point in time.
Fair.
And that combined with some personal drama meant that I was like, I don't know. And Monday's also not a good day for me. I don't know why I agreed to putting a podcast on a Monday. If I had my choice again, I would definitely put it on a Friday.
Yeah, something to look forward to and just go sailing into the weekend. I got you.
Yeah. But yeah, we're here to we're not here to talk about our woes of podcasting, which I feel like is a topic that just keeps coming up. Don't podcast, kids. It's a gateway drug.
Yeah, it really truly is.
Don't worry about marijuana. Don't worry about cocaine or anything. Those are all fickle things. Podcasting is where the real problems are.
Podcasting is the fentanyl of the hobbies, and you don't want that.
It's been distributed like opioids. Sorry, I really should stop these jokes. I'm in a really snarky mood. I really do apologize to the listeners if they...
Vibing. I love it. Please. This is our first time getting to chat in person, so I'm living for it. I understand I'm here to talk about rocks, though.
Yeah, rocks. rocks, there's a TikToker couple that I'm mildly obsessed with, where they like tell you they're your favorite child, and everyone asks in the comments, "Oh, can we swear? Can we swear?" And they're like, "Well, no, but you can use the word rocks," and they like scream the word rocks. I have to tag it in the description.
Very good.
Hilarious. But yeah, rock climbing.
Yes, not a geologist. I'm a rock climber. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Geology. So how did you get into rock climbing?
Okay, so the thing is, you knew that kid in elementary school who kept getting yelled at because they kept climbing the trees and they really shouldn't have done that, but they kept doing that thing. So that was me. I was that kid. I was a tree climbing kid. I still, as an adult, look at trees and think, that's a great climbing tree right there. Look at those branches. But the thing about that is when you're a grown-up, it's ill-advised and, frankly, socially unacceptable to just climb trees regularly. But if you climb rocks, it's considered cool and trendy. So I did that.
Yeah, look, climbing trees has always been I'm not a uber tree climbing person. My siblings are more tree climbing people, mostly because I'm terrified of falling from the tree.
That's wise. That's smart. I don't have that part of my brain.
Yeah, seems like my siblings don't either. I was always heavier than my siblings as well, fairly significantly, for various reasons. My brothers are uber skinny. I'm very jealous all the time. They eat way worse than I do, and I'm a cuddly teddy bear.
Listen, genetics will do that. That plays a big role on what that's going to look like.
But I was always worried about breaking the branch when climbing a tree. So it would always go last up the tree, because it meant that I had to climb the least because there were more people at the top of the tree.
This is a good strategy. You really thought about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Social anxiety really, really helps you create strategies to avoid any form of conflict. So when you obviously started climbing rocks instead of trees, was there, I don't know, do you remember much of a difference between like the strategies you used to climb a tree as compared to a rock? This seems like the weirdest question to ask.
No, genuinely, at first I was like, oh, I never had asked that before. But actually, it's like, no, actually, that's a great question. So I
feel like we're talking about video game strats at this point.
No, I love it. I'm so into it. So when I was a kid, my folks would work out at the local rec center, and the local rec center had a large rock climbing space, and I was just obsessed with it. I loved the colorful rocks and the shapes, and I just wanted to climb so badly. But it's a time thing, and it's a little bit more expensive to do, and I have 4 brothers. So sometimes we'd be able to go up, and like my mom would let us climb a little bit on the rocks, but not often. So it was this like beautiful, just out of reach thing I could never be a part of. And so anytime growing up, you'd go to like a school fair or a carnival or something, and there would be like that like auto belay rock wall you could do. Yeah. I always wanted to do it and always wanted to get to the top. So then smash cut to mid 2018, early 2019, I think. I don't really remember. But some women that I worked with, we started getting brunch together on Fridays before work at the office, and they mentioned casually that they had gone rock climbing, that a local gym had a women's night, and they were going to go the following Wednesday again. And I'm not someone who usually just invites herself into things or asks if like, oh, I'm going to go with you. Because I'll ask like, oh, can I tag along? Didn't ask. I just outright was like, oh, I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go with you to that. Like there was no room for like asking. Like I desperately wanted to go. And that was the first time like I went with them and we did the bouldering and got harnesses. And I was just like instantly like, I love this. I love this so much. It didn't occur to me that I'm a grown up. I can just take myself rock climbing. There are 3 climbing gyms within like a 15-minute drive of where I live. And I could just go and climb. And to circle back to the tree climbing question, on the first night I went climbing, I was climbing up the auto belay, which for listeners who don't have the climbing terminology, that's when you or climbing the tall wall, but you don't have a partner holding the other side of the rope just goes up into like a machine that automatically retracts.
Yeah.
So when you let go, it just lowers you down. Like that's the auto belay. Belaying is that process of someone holding the other side of the rope and another person climbing. Excuse me. And so I was climbing up the route, and it was a struggle because I wasn't super familiar with it, but I was having so much fun. And I got to the top and I came down, and this older woman, who I only could describe as this like wizened old guide to the universe for me, came up to me and she said to me, I saw you up there and you just read the rocks so well. Have you been climbing long? And I was like, no, this is my first night. And she's like, keep at it. Keep at it. And I never saw her again. I never saw that woman again. She disappeared back into the ether of the universe just to deliver this one message to me. So in regards to tree climbing v rock climbing, I think there must be something like inherently very similar to the basic skill, because apparently I read the rocks very well, and I can only cite it to the experience of climbing the trees and looking up and paying attention to the way your body moves.
Yeah, it's a very fascinating thing. You mentioned the word belay, and this whole bunch of like memories that I had somehow suppressed came back of my time as a scout.
As a scout,
we would do not abseiling. It's not abseiling, but we would climb up, and people would belay us up as we climbed up. Not necessarily a rock wall, but we climbed up things. We would also...
good.
We would also go back down. I forget what the real terms are, but, up and down, tall things, climbing, ropes.
Rappelling.
Yeah, rappelling, yeah. I was going to say retarding, but I was like, maybe not
no,
the right
not
word.
that one. Not that one.
And, like, I don't know, obviously this guide from the universe came and told you to keep going at it. I do love how we have random people in our lives who like tell you something and they disappear and you never see them again.
Never saw that woman again.
It's
Not even that night at the gym.
It's also a very American thing, I will say, as the limited time I've spent in the States, people are more willing to like in person give you advice completely unsolicited. Rather than, like, here in Australia, we're like, well, okay, we look at you. Only your friends are allowed to make comments, and only if you let them. And that's about it. It's just like, we're all, like, so stranger danger averse. Like, I feel like I've had more people speak to me, more random people that I've never met in my life speak to me on the streets of New York than, in my hometown or, in the town that I live in now of 4,500 people who, all know my name because I work at the local paper.
That's so interesting.
It's weird. What was it? I was wearing a branded t-shirt. I was walking to Penn Station after a week in New York to catch the train down to Richmond. And I had a brand on it, which was like the Music Society that I was running at the time. And some guy on the street tried to read my shirt and say it back to me. And I wasn't paying attention. I was stressed. I had a suitcase and... I had to leave my accommodation by a certain time, and the train didn't leave for another 3 hours. And I was just like, what the fuck do I do with,
The worst.
Yeah. Also, can your train stations please just have more seats? It's ridiculous.
Sam, I live in Idaho. I would kill for a train station. Like, I'm not...
I forget people do not live in New York.
To be fair, I just spent a week in New York with a bunch of other podcasters.
Yeah.
And rock climbing there too was great.
Which is partly what inspired this episode, because Charlie kept ranting and not ranting and raving, but like was so excited that they were going to climb, a rock wall with y'all, and it was like, oh wow, Charlie, I'm so proud of you,
Yeah,
we were like
they
proud
came
parents.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came every day. They finally worked up the courage to actually like get on the rocks the last day. And I'm like, I'm so glad they did. And they actually were able to like try it and get to know the rocks and feel it. And they seemed like they had fun. So
I feel like
I take
rock
it as a
climbing
win.
rock climbing is scary to watch, but then like when
Yes.
you, especially in a controlled environment, you go and do it, it's way more fun than you think it is.
Yeah, I think that's another thing about climbing is like I always had like I wanted to do it, and then realizing as an adult that I could just do it was like kind of game changer. I think a lot of like grown-ups eventually have that realization that you can actually do that thing that you couldn't do for whatever reason XYZ as a kid. And you just have to figure out how to make it work within your life. And that's what I did with climbing. Originally, I had a climbing partner who was like one of my former coworkers. Well, actually, one of the women who were on that brunch thing, and we would go climbing like 3 times a week. Because if you want to do the top rope climbing with the ropes, you kind of have to have a partner to belay you. And it's easier if you already have a friend to go with.
Yeah.
So we did that for like from the time we started until mid like last year about, and then we had a falling out. Relationships happen. They run their course.
Yeah.
But I kept climbing after that because it had become such a part of my life that even when that like massive relationship that it was kind of built on disappeared, I still had climbing, and I would still take myself climbing solo. I do a lot of bouldering now, which is when the rocks they're a lot lower, they're not quite as high, and so people don't need ropes. You don't need a partner to do that, but they are more technically challenging. The bouldering, that is what they are, and that is mostly what we did in New York. And they can tell y'all how it was. You think you look at a rock and you're like, I could do that, and then you walk up and the rock says, fuck you, meet gravity. Can I curse on this show?
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
All cursing all the time. And
But then you get back up and you do it again.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like I don't know, it's a controlled environment, which I like appreciate knowing the chaos that is everyone's lives. It like, I don't know. It's one of those things, and also like the whole adult money thing gets me every time. What was it the other day? I realised that I could just go and buy clothes. It's one of those
that's
things
a fun one.
It's been one of those things that's been like a really slow realization. But it was just like, oh yeah, I don't have to like, I don't know, get anyone's approval to buy clothes anymore. They're for me. If I don't like the clothes I'm wearing, I can go and get more or new ones. Or
Get more
different ones.
clothes, yeah.
And because there was a period of time where my mother went through every one of our cupboards and culled like half of our stuff. So at one point in time, I had 3 t-shirts, 3 sets of shorts, a set of pants, a collared shirt, and 1 iteration of every school uniform because I went to a private school, so
Okay, that makes more
apologize
sense.
to everyone for going to a private school, but you know.
How dare you? You should feel so ashamed.
This school had 7 uniforms. It was excessive.
Why?
It was like a harking back to like old-timey stuff. Like the school hadn't really moved on in terms of like its uniform policy, and it did towards the end of my time there. But we had like a formal uniform, which was like plain white shirt, school tie, brown pants. We were a brown school. We had brown long pants, or a brown skirt and like stockings. And you couldn't wear socks. If you wore socks with your formal uniform, you got in trouble. Because you had for the girls, because you had to wear stockings. And then for the senior schoolers, you had the school blazer, which was like, I don't know, $300 or something stupid, brand new. But then we had like a day uniform, which was like this brown pinstripe shirt that never fit anybody properly because it was either way too big or way too small. And the guys would have shorts. They could wear the long pants if they wanted to, but most of the time you had shorts and knee-high socks. So you really, like, it was preppy. But this is the standard in Australia. Like, we still do knee-high socks everywhere. But it was, we had 7. So we had like a formal, a day uniform, a sport uniform, a house uniform, and then like various sets of other uniforms. So my total ended up being 7, but some people could have like 10 and some people could only just have like 4 or 5, you know. It really depended what you got involved in, as to what uniforms were required for you.
That's a whole other thing. Wow. I'm reassessing everything I know about Australian schools. Australian private schools specifically.
Yeah, and like
Which was nothing.
I went to like a really low tier private school. Like we weren't included in the fun private school, weirdly toxic private school stuff. We were geographically a little bit too far away, but we like still had connections to the uber fancy private schools, and so we would go and visit for like events and things like that, and we would marvel at their facilities and come back and turn around to like our staff and go, why the hell don't we have this? Like you guys the school's rolling in money, why the hell don't we have this? Turns out the school wasn't rolling in money, but you know.
But you would assume.
What was it? We made the running joke for us. I was a performing arts kid. Was like, we could have a performing arts centre. Our music building was built in the early 80s and hasn't been changed. It still floods every time there's heavy rain, so everyone has to close all the doors and windows and just watch the water lap up against the door.
No!
There's regularly mold. Like they've had to do renovations a couple of times in some of the practice rooms because there's just regularly mold growing in them.
Nope. That's not. Nope. Shouldn't do that. That shouldn't be that way.
And I don't think the carpet has been replaced in the last 20 years, which is great because that's also the same carpet the band rehearses on. And you know how I hope people know how disgusting bands are.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, we went from rock climbing to my school's infrastructure.
I'm delighted.
Oh, it was weird. I don't know. But
Sam, have you ever been rock climbing? Like at an indoor gym?
Oh, I wouldn't call myself a rock climbing virgin.
Okay.
But I wouldn't necessarily say I haven't been rock climbing at least in the last 5 years, I don't think. I've definitely done it more as a kid. And even then it was probably really tame. It's one of those things that I think the nearest rock climbing gym would be like an hour and a half away from me, unfortunately. I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Australia.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's totally fine.
But you've got rad outdoor climbing though, right? Like it's Australia. That feels right to me, but I genuinely have no idea. I also don't climb outside. So like I've done it one time and I don't need to do it again.
I was about to ask, like, is there like divides within the rock climbing community?
Yeah, there is. And usually anyone who is like part of those divides are just not the kind of people you want to hang out with to begin with. Like there are folks who have preferences. They prefer outdoor climbing to gym climbing because it is a very different experience, like all around. And that's, or people who prefer like top roping to lead climbing or bouldering to whatever. And that's one thing. But you'll also find certain folks who will claim that you're not a real climber if you only boulder. You're not a real climber if you only top rope. You didn't really send that unless you lead climb it. Oh, you only climb in gyms? Oh no, real climbers climb it. And that's all complete nonsense. Like that's a small sect of like people who climb, and they do not speak to the majority of the rock climbing community who are just like, oh, you like rocks? Hell yeah, come climbing. And like that's usually the vibe, is like shockingly like very positive and very nice and supportive in most of the gyms that I've been able to visit, or my home gyms and stuff. It's very welcoming because it's not a super common or well-known activity, and it costs a lot of money to run a gym. And the way you get money is by having people come climb at your gym.
Yeah.
So you don't want to scare people away from climbing at your gym. You want to get excited when new people come in. You want to be welcoming, and climbers want to keep their gyms alive, so they want new people to come climb.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know how like rock climbing gyms operate in the States, but like often they're connected, at least to us, like to a broader like sports center. So sometimes it's a YMCA, sometimes it's the local like squash courts also have a rock climbing.
The local squash courts. What? My God, it's so charming.
It is. It's very. The Australians don't quite know how to do indoor rock climbing, so we're just going to shove it in the corner in the squash courts.
Yeah, that was the rec center that my folks went to growing up. It was I was like I had a track upstairs. It was where I went to do gymnastics when I was a kid. Why was I allowed to do gymnastics and not rock climbing as a kid? I don't know. Maybe I should ask my mom about that. Whatever.
I feel
That's
like there's
expensive.
trauma
I have
there
3 brothers.
somewhere.
There's a little bit of like if I rock climbed as a kid, I'd be an Olympian now. I fucking know it. It's expensive. I had 3 brothers. There's no way I was doing that growing up. But yeah, I actually wanted to, like, I realized also another grown up thing is like, oh, I could go back because I don't live in that town anymore, but it's only like a 40-minute drive. I still live in the county, next county over.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get myself out there. I'm gonna climb at those rocks I always dreamed about as a kid. Let's go. And I did, and they ripped most of it out. Like it's all gone. It's like 2 top roping bays and then like no bouldering. It's all gone. I even took my brother and he confirmed that it wasn't just me misremembering from like little kid memories. He's like, nah, this definitely used to be more. I definitely remember. So I was like so heartbroken to find that those rocks I had dreamed about were gone. But it's fine. There are other gyms.
I was about to say, that is so sad. Like,
Thank you.
it's one of those things, it's like, I don't know, I've had those things happen where it's like, oh, that's changed. That's not how it used to be. Can it please go back? Please, please? Why did no one tell me?
Here's the thing. I was aware it had been like 20 years since I'd been out there. I did go on their website. I did double check and make sure they still had climbing. They still boast climbing, but they've got some like real creative copy to make it sound like they have like more climbing than they actually do. So like props to the copywriter. But like I would not recommend. Nampa Rec Center, not a great place to go rock climbing. Lovely swimming place though. Great pools.
This is the thing. I actually now live where it snows, and of all things, our town is in the middle of this crazy debate about whether they should heat the community pool or not. And every time the pool goes to shut down for the winter, the debate sparks back up again. Everyone writes snarky letters to the newspaper. The council's like, what the fuck's going on? And we're like, we don't know.
Feels like a really... Just do it. Like, I guess if it's like financially something that your town could do, like, yeah, but if not, then you just can't do. What is this? Towns are weird. Every town in the world is weird.
Look, when I first came down here to visit, I made the comment that this place looks like Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. It really does. But it also, like, behaves like Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. Like,
no.
The town wants to do something, and it doesn't get done, or they bully people into getting it done. But it does require, like, a concerted effort of bullying.
Goodness.
I'm like, is this a toxic relationship that the townspeople and the council have between each other, or is this just? It
sounds like. Maybe every town is like that. I feel like Parks and Rec had that kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, actually, I feel like I am like that TV station everyone comes to. They come and speak to us, and then they get like a wildly different story out of it because something's happened, and I've had to like rapidly change what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I understand why you have so much work to do when you go back to work next week, as you mentioned.
there's a lot of angry residents I have to call. It's wild shit. But back to you.
So now I want to ask you questions about your stuff. I bet that's interesting. No, we're talking about me. I'm not going to turn it around.
Look, I've had the interviews flip on me before. I once had, and shout out to Scotty for this, but I once had a guy ask me on the podcast what my career aspirations were and where I wanted to be when the Olympics came to, at that time, my home city. And I couldn't answer him.
No!
I was not prepared to answer this question.
How dare!
But you did ask about outdoor rock climbing, and I know it's a thing,
yes.
And I know it probably happens in Australia, but I have not seen it. Like, we're big on like we're big on moving fast, like mountain biking and cycling and running and skiing. Like these are like
Speed.
sports that move fast.
Yep.
I am speed. Yes, it was just like really, I don't know, like it's not something I've ever thought of or like ever thought that there would be like a large community for. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess here's the thing, like there is a pretty prominent like place to go rock climbing outdoors. It's called the Black Cliffs, and it's like just outside of Boise, which is where I live. And I had no idea until I started climbing that it's like, oh yeah, people go out there like every weekend all the time. It's like a whole thing. There's like tons of routes that people have like done out there, and I'm just like, what? When? Since when? The whole time? Decades? What? The whole time? So it's like, yeah, rock climbers aren't super flashy or loud typically. You can't be. If you're outside with the rocks, you don't want to be loud. We don't disturb the wildlife. Protect the raptors. Like, be polite. They live here, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is a good point. It's like, honestly, all your neighbors could be rock climbing and you would have no idea.
This is the thing. People can be sneaky about it all. And, like, we're a big sporty community as well. So, like, everyone is doing a sport in some way, shape, or form. There's a lady I met the other day who travels an hour and a half just to train for hockey, to play field hockey. And I'm like,
fun.
Fucking, like, I love the dedication, but really, like, there's not enough people in town to like have a field hockey team here. We don't even need like a proper field to train on. Like we can, and everyone travels at least 2 hours for their games on the weekend. So it's a Saturday morning now, and I can probably guarantee you that there is probably a good 100 people who've left their homes at a ridiculous hour this morning to make it to a neighboring town to go and play sport against each other.
So interesting, yeah. That makes sense. That's the vibe I get from Australia. Y'all like sports. I'm not surprised.
Yes, it's weird. Sometimes I'm like, are we all okay? Yeah.
Like, why do you want to do this so badly? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We're weird. We're Australians.
You're
I feel
Australians.
I feel like it's a survival instinct so we can outrun the magpies.
The magpie was not the animal I thought you were going to say. Of all the animals I know from Australia, I was not prepared for magpie.
It is our greatest fear. There are 2 families of magpies that live on the street I live on. And I go for a walk or a run every day all the way along the street and back. And there's one family, really friendly, really chill. They'll squawk hello as I go past. There's the other one that gives me a death stare, and I'm like, oh, come September, you're going to be trying to kill me. I'm going to have to adjust my running route so you don't try to kill me.
Oh my gosh, when you first said family, I thought you meant like species family, 2 different types. No, you meant like there were 2 magpie gangs, and one is like very friendly, and the other one wants to like it's on site.
Yes, exactly.
That's fair, man. Magpies are fucking rude, though. Like I get it.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes because their beaks are also quite sharp, they can actually really hurt you. Like as a PSA to anyone who comes to Australia in September, just be careful. You can hear like a little click right before they're gonna hit your head, and it's just enough warning to like move it. I don't know
if you hear the click, it's not too late.
It's not too late, but you do need to move quickly. It's a PSA.
Just drop flat to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So look, through, you know, obviously your passion for rock climbing has like brought your friends together and bits and pieces. For the people in your life who aren't rock climbers, what do they think about, like, I don't know, you rock climbing all the time?
It has definitely, I think, shifted their perspective, like their perception of me slightly. And honestly, climbing shifted my perception of like myself, because I never viewed myself as someone who was overly athletic or very like physically strong even. I like ran cross country and long distance track in middle school and high school, but only because it made my dad proud, not because I liked it. Like I hated that. I never want to run again. Maybe I'll run from a magpie if I visit Australia, but other than that, like a brisk walk is about as much as I want to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, I describe myself as like a very friendly scarecrow. My upper body strength is non-existent. Hey, good news, everyone. You don't have to have upper body strength to rock climb. It's all in the legs. The upper body strength is a byproduct.
I love that.
But yeah,
I love that.
I started climbing, and it's still like not super mainstream, so it's still like this mildly quirky thing that's like, oh, you rock climb? That's interesting.
Is it like skepticism? Are people suspicious of you? Like,
No, I think sometimes they're surprised because I am what I call an indoor cat. I don't much like doing outdoor things. Most I want to do outside is take a walk when it's nice, get brunch on a patio, read a book under a tree. I don't do outside stuff. I want to be inside. I'm an indoor kid. I was an indoor kid and I'm an indoor cat. But so the rock climbing thing feels a lot more well, like people will like, oh, have you seen Free Solo? Like that's what I get a lot from people who learn rock climbing. That is most people's perception is that really hardcore, intense outdoor climbing, which is some people's like rock climbing reality, and more power to them. My rock climbing reality is a lot more akin to like folks who go to the gym after work to get in like a run or like do some cardio, or that's their yoga. Like I like climbing at the gym because it does not require a lot of prep time beforehand, and I can climb before work, I can climb after work, I can climb on my day off and still hang out with my friends, still come home and do podcast stuff. Like it definitely from an external perspective seems a lot more like intense than the reality is for most climbers. But it also like, okay, like last year, late last year, there's this climb that it was a bouldering climb that I really liked because it had a really big dyno, which is when you literally like jump. It's like dynamic movement. You literally like most of your limbs are off all the wall at one point in time as you get to the next hold. And so I film my climbs in part because it helps to me see like if I'm struggling to send something, like I can see what my body's doing. Also, because cutting those down and pairing them with fun music and putting them on Instagram is great for my self-esteem. So I had video of me doing this climb. Yeah, I need a little bit of vanity. It's not just about the health benefits of rock climbing. It's also because I look damn cool doing it. So I dug through and found... I dug through and found video of one of my very, very first climbs where I just look like an awkward, like turtle duck on the wall. Like, what is happening? And I slip, but it's very funny to see it because I'm just no idea, but it's cute. And then I found that audio that's like oh, bum, 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 bum. Wait, hold on. What if it was more like, and then it turns into like that cool music?
Yeah.
I put that together. So it's the cut from me having no idea what I'm doing to me like, rah, getting that dyno. And I showed my brother Johnny, who is, he's a year younger than me. So we've literally known each other our whole lives. And I was like, oh, can I show you this? Because he's not on Instagram, so he doesn't see my climbing, but he knows I climb. And he's gone a couple times. And I showed him the video, and he was like, oh my God. And he watched it 3 times, and he ran to find our dad, because we were at my dad's house. He's like, Dad, look at this. Look at her. So that felt really good to realize, like, it has created a difference in the way, like, my friends and family perceive me as someone who is, like, physically capable and maybe just a little bit insane to be doing these things. And that's nice.
I don't know how much of a health nut your family members are, but like I don't know, does it satisfy like oftentimes when I'm like I want to have a lazy day, I always hear that my mother's voice is like, you should get up and exercise at least for half an hour, you know, in the back of my head. Not that that's a bad thing. It's my mother. She studied sports science and nutrition in university. Like, she knows what she's talking about. But also it's like, please shut the fuck up. But
yeah, just let me lie here.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, does the rock climbing, because it is fun and enjoyable for you, does it like, I don't know, because you're active, you're doing exercise, does that like, I don't know, satisfy people's concerns, or like maybe your concerns about getting exercise in regularly?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I certainly should do more in addition to the climbing for just overall fitness and stuff. But it is like rock climbing is a full body workout. You are literally using all of your muscles, and it's not like running or biking is like top tier cardio. But you increase your heart level quite a bit while climbing. And when you're doing long climbs, like when you're doing like top roping, climbing 30 feet up onto the wall, and you're not doing that in seconds. Like it takes like 5-10 minutes to do climbs sometimes, depending on the difficulty. So you're constantly moving, breathing, raising your heart rate up. And I've had days where I'm just like, okay, we're doing a bunch of low climbs, but we're just, every time I'm off the wall, I'm back on and go, go, go. And I have seen like I have upper body strength now. Like I have muscles, like literally, like I have been complimented on like my back and shoulders before. And I never thought I'd be someone who was physically strong, but it is a genuinely like really solid workout.
Yeah.
And it's also really mentally satisfying because I don't like to run, as I said. I'm not really into like just lifting weights or things like that. But I like rock climbing because you are solving a puzzle with your whole body. And that is what I find engaging about it. I don't just like zone out when climbing. You have to be physically in the moment and paying attention to what your body is doing, what the rocks are, what the holds are. Because if you're not careful, you could genuinely get really hurt doing this. Like it is a dangerous thing to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I think it also like scratches the jewel, like you get a bit of energy, and it's like one of those things that's like it's a slow burn, not a fast burn, if what I understand is correct. But also like the whole weird ADHD-esque I want to solve puzzles kind of thing.
Yes.
Like I was a puzzle kid, so are many of my siblings. We probably all should go get tested for ADHD. It's very satisfying to like get to the top and go, oh, I solved a puzzle. I'm at the top.
Yes. That's exactly it. Yeah, it is. Like I will have days where I'm not really getting to the top because I'm trying a lot of problems that are like new and I haven't figured them out yet. And we call them like high gravity days because you fall a lot. Gravity's there a lot. And that's not bad. It's not like the sign of like, oh, you had a bad climbing day, because you still went out and climbed and I still like exercise and I still did all those things. And so I logically know, hey, this was still worthwhile. It was still good. But man, I'm not getting the dopamine hit from getting to the top of the wall, so I'm getting a little bummed out here. I'm really craving the serotonin from the accomplishment. Someone give me my little chemical presents. I get a treat now.
Please give me treat. Please give me treat.
Give my brain a treat. Yep.
And I don't know, like, I don't know, has rock climbing socially like change the people you hang out with as well because you're doing it fairly regularly?
I think not for me personally. I know there are other folks who meet other people through climbing and like make those connections and stuff. For me personally, like I am a very social person. I'm an extrovert and I like to like make connections and engage with people, but I also need moments where I'm like focused on just myself and what I'm doing. And so when I climb, I usually I've got like one of my earbuds in, I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, and I'm just like focusing on kind of my own thing. If I didn't bring someone to climb with, I personally am not looking to engage socially with folks. That doesn't mean I don't have like pleasant interactions with other climbers, especially if it's like we're both working on like the same problem. And I've had people ask me, like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Can you do that start you just did again? Like we've been trying, can we watch you do that again? And I'm like, hell yeah, let me do that for you real quick and we'll chat a little bit. And there is like potential for like I mentioned, like the first time I went climbing was at like a women's night, and the gym I go to has like pride nights and like all sorts of like encouraging of like social gathering for meeting other climbers. I think I should probably do that more. I could stand to have a more expanded friend group, people who are outside of the other interests I have. Maybe, honestly, Sam, now you got me thinking about it. I probably should make more climbing friends, but
also, like, I don't know. As you said, you're a cat. Like,
I'm a cat.
Yeah. Do we need to go outside?
It's like I don't necessarily need more people around. I have the people I like the most.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm always distracted. There's like I don't know why I keep signing myself up for like 7,000 things, but always 7,000 things are like demanding my attention.
Sounds like an ADHD problem.
It is, and it's always when I open my laptop. I'm like, I cannot, like, even when I edit a podcast episode, I need to be doing something else. I've been walking on the treadmill while editing podcast episodes recently.
Hey, whoa,
which seems
okay.
A, mildly dangerous, but B, it's like at least my legs are doing something. At least I have to concentrate on actually walking with my legs while I edit this episode, because I can't sit down and edit it.
Nope, that's fair. My co-host and brother DJ on our mythology podcast, he is regularly like playing some sort of like low attention game when we're doing episodes. Like his ADHD, he has to be doing something else.
Yeah.
He cannot just focus, or it'll like he just won't be able to. And then it's not like he's distracted. We're having great conversations and we're engaging.
Yeah.
It's like helping him with the conversation. But yeah, he can't just be doing the one thing. That is like death sentence.
My least favorite thing at work at the moment is when I reach inbox 0 and I have nothing else to do, which is why there's a list as long as my arms of things to do, because I'm like, I cannot
Gotta be busy.
Here. I think it's also like corporate guilt.
See, that's no good. We don't want no, banish that. That's some nonsense.
Banish the corporate guilt. Get out of here. So obviously in New York, you introduced a lot of the Percy Jackson podcasters to rock climbing. How was that?
Oh, that was so much fun. Like, honestly, I was so delighted when we were making like plans and talking about it, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to go rock climbing while I'm there, because I love visiting other gyms when I travel, because it's so interesting. Like, every gym has like different just physical setup, and the way they set their routes are different, because the routes are done by people. Like a human being is designing and setting them, and so it's the artistry you don't find at like my gym. The routes, we went to like Brooklyn Boulders, in Long Island City was where we went all 3 days, and those climbs are so different than any of the 3 gyms that I have, or like the 4th gym that I go to pretty regularly because it's where my family lives a couple hours out. But when I mentioned I was going to go, I was really genuinely surprised when other folks were like, oh, can I come climbing with you? Because it's not something I'm super used to, I guess, at home. Like, I've invited my friends, and they'll climb once in a while, or like my brothers will come with me, or I got all my friends to come out for my birthday this year. But it's not their scene. And so no one has ever asked me, can I come climbing with you? I've always invited folks first. And that's fine. It's not like, oh, how dare no one want to climb with me. I was just like surprised at this, like, it was our vacation, and that these other folks wanted to take time to do a thing that they don't already do with me. And so it was Charlie, as we mentioned. It was Fran from Best Damn Camp Pod. It was Owen from Through the Mist, Robert of the Damn Meme Page fame. Oh, love Robert. They're the best. And then Erica of Seaweed Brain Frame.
See, and Erica, Robert, Charlie, I feel like you guys, I don't know how you guys got around the city together, because that would have been so much chaos.
It was highly chaotic, but we knew that going in, so we just penciled in the time for chaos, and it was fine. But yeah, those were the folks who because I went 3 times, and various combinations of the group came with, and it was so fun, because I think the only person who had gone climbing recently or at all was Owen, who he recently started climbing with some of his coworkers back in the UK. So he's been sending me some videos of his climbing. So he had a grasp and was like, I'm going to climb in New York with Darien. But I mean, I'll acknowledge, like, Fran had, I don't think, ever been before. I don't believe Charlie had ever been before. And I think if Robert and Erica have been, it was a very long time. And we went, the first day was like on Tuesday, and Robert wasn't able to go. And then they asked me, hey, or Sunday, and they're like, you're going to climb again, right? You're climbing on Tuesday? Okay, I want to go. And then again, after Tuesday, I was like, are we going to climb again? Are we going to climb one more time on the trip? And I was like, yeah, of course. And it was really nice that they were genuinely having fun, and not, because if they weren't actually having fun, I'm sure they would have told me. But the fact that they weren't just pretending because they asked to keep coming.
Yeah,
And then-
exactly.
Yeah. And then afterwards, like Robert and Erica have been climbing together. Fran was really excited to tell me that the university where they're going to go get their masters has a climbing gym on it. Like Owen has been sending me videos. It was really cool. And I just overall I just want to double shout out to Owen because at the gym we were at, they had a partner climb, which is a kind of climb that it's so fun. I've seen these on Instagram, but I've never done one before. They're literally, there's 2 routes that are like interwoven, and they are designed where you have to have someone else physically helping you climb it. You cannot climb this thing alone. It's impossible to do that. So you have to physically be like grabbing onto another person or like holding onto them and having them lift and swing and like do that. And so I saw it up and I was like, oh my gosh, Owen, will you climb this with me? And he was like, yes, I will. And I'm just like, it was so fun. Made a video.
Yeah.
I threw that on my Instagram. Like, it was absolutely like fulfilled a rock climbing dream of me to be able to do this partner climb. So
That's amazing.
It was really fun. Yeah, I think I can safely say we all had a good time. And how fun was that?
That's lovely. Oh, I'm just so happy. Like that's like immaculate vibes.
Yeah, it was on just the last day when we all got to climb together and just seeing everybody like comfortable enough in the gym to like kind of step away and feel confident. Like, I'm just going to go climb this by myself. I'm going to try this and like feeling like in the space and like do it. It was really cool to see. And that was the day I was like, hey, I'm not going to boulder. I'm going to do the auto belay. I'm going to rent a harness. And everyone was comfortable enough to be like, okay, Darien's going to do her thing and we're going to do our thing in the rock climbing. And I was like, fuck yeah, you are! Oh, I love you all so much. I'm so proud. And
That's
it was
amazing.
Great. It was really great. Yeah.
And I don't know, like looking to the future, vague future, like what do you like? I don't know. What would be like something you want to do in the future with rock climbing? Sorry, that was a very hard question to articulate.
No, I got you. So I definitely want to climb at higher difficulty levels than I currently am at. And I recognize in order to do so, that means rock climbing can't just be my only workout. I need to work out outside of climbing in order to improve my overall strength, my core strength, my flexibility, my balance. Like, those are things that you gain in rock climbing, but there is like a certain level of like the difficulty of those. Like, I've really hit like at V5s on climbs, and like the 511 minus is like my highest like climb I've ever been able to do on the walls.
Yeah.
And no amount of climbing the things I can't climb is going to get me there. So I've got a buddy who's actually a personal trainer who's been rock climbing with me before. And like, my goal is, okay, get a new job that pays more money. Hire a friend to be my personal trainer. Get friend to get me climbing at least V6s. I'm not looking to be Olympian. I don't compete in rock climbing. I volunteer at my gyms to like help them run, but I don't compete in competitions because everything in my life has always been a competition, and I don't want this one thing for me to feel like I'm competing against anybody but myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But some higher level routes are really fun, and I want to be able to do them. So that's it. I want to keep climbing and share it with other people that want to go climbing.
I love that for you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been so fun to chat with you.
Thank you so much, Sam. Can I say to any listener, if during this conversation you thought even for a second, that sounds fun, I'd like to do that, and then you had a thought, they're like, I can't do that. I'm not fit enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm scared of heights. You should go climbing anyway. You should go climbing anyway. You should find a gym that's near you, and you should go and get a day pass and some rental shoes. Go on their website, fill out the waiver in advance. It'll save you so much time. Get a friend to go with you. Just try it. Maybe you'll get there and realize you hate it, but maybe you'll get there and realize you love it. But like, just if you think you might like it, don't let any like preconceived notions about yourself or what it means to be a rock climber stop you from doing this thing. Because like, I wasn't a rock climber. I was not someone who was strong enough or cool enough to do that. I'm still not. Like, wow, I'm such a nerd. But it's a fun thing, and I'm glad I didn't let my beliefs about who I was as a person stop me from doing this fun thing. And also, if you go and you realize you hate it, that's cool too. You don't have to keep going. You'll know pretty quickly whether or not climbing's for you. It's very obvious.
Where can people find you on the internet?
Well, if you want to see any of me rock climbing or that video I mentioned of Owen and I doing the partner climb, you can follow my Instagram. It's Darien Smart, just my first and last name, Smart with 2 T's. I'm sure there'll be a link in it. That's where I post my climbing stuff. But if you want to hear my voice talking and sharing opinions about Percy Jackson and mythology, you can check out Muses of Mythology, which is the podcast I co-host with my brother DJ, where we talk about how ancient myths have become part of modern pop culture through the lens of Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. That is on Instagram and every podcatcher, I promise.
That is the most consistent description of a podcast I have heard. I don't know. Much. I'm in a weird state with this podcast where the branding isn't 100% consistent. I've changed what I've wanted to do with this podcast a couple of times now. And you're just here's exactly what this podcast is about. We've been doing it for it took 3 years to finally actually figure out what our vibe is and for me to get that nailed down. So thank you so much. I've worked really hard on that. I'm so glad that you've worked so hard on it because it really does. It really I'm oh yes, this is amazing.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Has there been anything you've been listening, watching, I don't know, engaging with that you wanted to plug?
Yes, actually. When we were in New York, we visited a local comic book shop that was very cool. And I picked up a graphic novel that I actually have conveniently sitting right here. It's called Nayra and the Djinn. And it's a beautiful graphic novel by, I don't know how to pronounce the person's name. Isamin Omar Eta. I probably mispronounced one of those syllables, and I am sorry. But it is about a young Muslim girl, and she's bullied at school, and she's not having a good time, and she feels distant from her only friend, who's also the only other Muslim girl at the school. Mm-hmm. And then it's Ramadan, and she's fasting and going through all these things, and then a Djinn suddenly reaches out and needs help because they have to have a human to form a pact with in order to leave the Djinn world and be in the human world. And now she's got this Djinn in her shadow and just kind of expanding friendships and stepping outside your comfort zone and the communication and how communication breaks down between friends and family and just learning that you are enough and being comfortable with yourself to share those parts of you with other people.
Yeah.
And the art's just beautiful.
Look how amazing it is. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So the art is beautiful and lovely. I could say that 1,000 times because it's the reason I bought it. But recommend that. It was very fun.
Amazing. You can find me at sam.the.journalist on Instagram and on TikTok. You can find me at samobjournalist on Twitter because my uninterrupted thought stream of consciousness happens there now because, I don't know, I have 2 housemates. I feel awkward recording things in my living room on TikTok. I don't know. I don't want to get in any conflict. I'm very conflict averse.
This is fair.
Wasn't made clear earlier in the episode. You can make sure you go check out the podcast as well. Content the letter N capable on Instagram and on Twitter and Facebook too. We do have Facebook now. I got Facebook because it means that I can schedule my Instagram posts much easier. So much easier.
Wait, really? Oh, damn. Maybe I should be doing that.
Meta has a business suite, and I don't know whether you need a Facebook page now, but when I first tried to use its business suite to schedule Instagram posts, it was it fucked me around because I only had Instagram and I didn't have a Facebook page for the podcast.
Interesting. Okay.
I just also feel my podcast is probably of the demographic enough that there's a significant portion of people who use Facebook. I don't know. Business decisions.
You got to think of the business decisions. Yeah. Sam, was there anything you've been listening to or consuming that you wanted to talk about?
Unironically, I have a running list, and at the top of the list at the moment is puzzles. Puzzles fucking rock.
Very good.
I haven't done one in a while, but I do love taking over a local kitchen table to put together a puzzle, especially if it's missing a piece, because the suspense as to what piece you're missing is like,
Oh,
it really makes the experience a little bit more chaotic, and I kind of love it.
oh no.
We once did this puzzle. It was one of the pyramids in Giza, but because the whole pyramid looks exactly the same, it was like this nightmare of like trying to figure out where the pieces would fit in.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't think we did that one it was in a holiday house, I think, at the beach. And we just do it like in the 10 minutes we were waiting for the sun cream to soak in before we went to the beach. And
Lovely.
you would have 15 people surrounding this one table trying to put this puzzle together.
What a good memory.
Oh, yeah. And it makes me miss my family, who do not live anywhere near me at the moment.
Oh, that's rough. I get that.
Well, thank you so much, Darien, for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute blast.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Content and Capable was recorded, edited, and produced by Samuel O'Brien. You can follow the podcast at Content, the letter N, Capable on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find it on Facebook. You can also send an email through to contentandcapablepod@gmail.com with any of your thoughts, queries, or concerns. The best way to support the podcast is to leave a review on your preferred podcatcher so more people can hear the podcast. The art was done by Opia, and the music was written, edited, and produced by Jason Hilton. Content and Capable is proud to be a part of the Deus Ex Media Network, where you can find a podcast for any of your nerdy interests.
This season on Of the Eldest Gods,
we make our way through the maze of...
Labyrinth.
Yeah, Labyrinth, whatever. And we tell you all about the next book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series.
And explain the myth context as we go along.
So, the whole stuck in a maze thing is just a gimmick for this book, right?
Yeah, sure, Ray.
Hey, Charlie! Where the fuck are we?
Only you can save us from the labyrinth by listening to our podcast.
Help!
Thank you for listening to Content and Capable. Don't forget to rate and review, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
Deus Ex Media.